What's up, everybody? Julio here, back to talk about another question I get a lot, and that's about flipping cars without having any kind of mechanic experience whatsoever. That's definitely a big question, and that one's difficult to really get into. So, we'll dive into that a little bit deeper this time. I touched on it a little bit on my first video, but this time I will definitely go into it a little bit deeper. And basically, if you're in that situation, you want to really start looking into, doing research, really. You got to be really careful with trying to do these repairs on your own. Because obviously at the end of the day, a lot of these cars are going to be bringing in a lot more money if you do some, repairs onto these cars before you attempt to resell them. Yeah, like I mentioned before, people do buy cars and really don't do anything to them, maybe clean them up or something like that, and then they just go ahead and just post them right from there. But I don't really like that part of it, because you can make a few $100 or whatever. Hey, it works for some people, whatever. Though for me, especially having the mechanic background, and also even though there's more work involved, it still brings in bigger gains in my opinion. As far as fixing them up and then reselling them. So if you don't have any experience at all with fixing cars, definitely research is a big thing. I would say YouTube, that sort of thing. Just look into it. Try to figure out to do these repairs on your own. Now, of course, I would, especially if you're a beginner at that, keeping it simple. That's why it is so important to have another guy that is a mechanic, that is experienced, that knows what he's doing, to do these repairs instead of you. And yeah, that'll cost you a little bit extra. But if you really want to do this stuff on your own, I would say definitely keep them simple. And I'm not saying do the simple stuff only because you feel that it's going to make you more money. You don't really want to go at it with that, aspect. You really want to do the simple repairs that are, let's say, in my opinion, safety related, and also repairs are going to make sense, that are going to increase the value on that car. You don't want to change, let's say, an engine air filter, a cabin air filter, or some other simple things like that, just because you can. Usually, you got to remember what kind of market you're working on. Now, yeah, if you're working on a much higher end market, something like that, then maybe. But usually that's not something you really want to do. Why spend the extra money, even though it's relatively inexpensive for those filters? Usually, you just don't want to deal with that. So I would say, yeah, definitely just research that stuff big time. Keep the repairs simple. Take it easy. Maybe even try to find somebody that you can kind of get a second opinion from after you do these repairs. If you have any questions in the middle of that repair process, just be very careful with that stuff. And then if you can get a hang of that, then you'll be able to increase the value for sure on those cars that you flip, and you'll be able to make more money. It makes more sense. So I would definitely say focus on that. You got to realize that even doing simple repairs, can be difficult if you don't do them correctly, or you can cost yourself a lot more money, a lot more time in the long run. So, just be research and take it a step at a time, and find someone that you can go back to get a second opinion, to kind of watch over you a little bit or whatever, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, I would definitely say, if you really don't have that, mechanic background, or you don't see yourself doing that on a bigger scale anywhere in the future, as far as, flipping cars go, I would say focus in the future with getting or finding a guy that is a mechanic, and having that other person do that kind of work. it gets pretty tough, just trying to do both of those things on your own. It's different when you have all that experience, but when you're trying to start off with flipping cars and doing the mechanic stuff, it could be a lot. Trust me. So definitely work on those things. So anyhow, I'm out. You guys have any questions? Leave them in the comments below. Definitely like and subscribe to the channel. There'll be more car flipping stuff on the way. And until next time, keep looking for those cars, keep flipping, keep making money.